Welcome to our Capital Recovery Center, where we focus on two key concepts. How can we help you with your recovery today, and what does recovery mean to you? Tune in Tuesdays at 10 a.m. to our coffee and conversation meeting, and Thursdays at 1 p.m. to our All Recovery meeting. For updated information, follow our Capital Recovery Center Facebook page.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Craig, your recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center, and it's always a pleasure to be with you for our All Recovery meeting virtual.
And my name is Mike. I'm one of your recovery coaches, and I am always honored to be here with you today. And we have a special guest today.
Yes.
I'm Johnny. I don't know what to say either. I'm in recovery. I'm not
one of our spotlight recoveries.
Yes.
And she is here. She is our first person to attend our meeting in person.
Yes.
Very first.
And she has a success story to go along.
Yeah, she has an absolute success story. So let's do some announcements, and then we get to all of what we're going to do today.
Yes. And so as of next week, Row is our Recovery on Wheels bus that goes out in the community at least twice a week. And so Row will be at the Violent location on Monday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I will be there. And on Wednesday, the Row bus will be at the Wendy's parking lot on 39 East Broad Street, Princeton, New Jersey. If you know someone out there that may need some help with some type of services that deals with recovery, please let them know about the Road Bus Recovery on Wheels.
All right. So as always, we love to have remind you that the Capital Recovery Center, our meetings are open to the public. You are always welcome to join our meeting. You don't actually have to be on camera. You could be off camera, but she's willing to be on camera. She's excited about her recovery story, and she's one of our recovery spotlight participants. And we want to share how long you've been in clean and everything.
As of March 8th, I have 2 years.
Woo! 2 years. She was one of our spotlight recoveries, and we always enjoy to share stories of people who have been successful. And we are glad she's here today. If you would like to come, 72 North Pearl Street, all recovery meetings at 1 p.m. You can be here. You don't have to be on the camera. She's not shy. She's good to share her story just like we all do. Yeah. And this is an important day for me. I'm excited because I've always been anticipating people coming to Capital Recovery Center. And anytime they feel like it, they feel like we always say, welcome to our home. And just to see her, she made it in time too. And told me yesterday, I'll be in town.
Yeah. And she represented the place of employment on her t-shirt.
Yes.
What's the name of that? What's the name?
Oxford House.
She currently works for the Oxford House.
Yes.
See, when you do the right thing and you're on the road to success, great things happen. More doors become available and open to you.
And it's also because today's topic is about something that she's actually living. You know, this is topic today is embracing it. It's talking about change, and it's talking about embracing change and making it happen. And who else better than to have somebody here who has embraced change and is making it happen? You know, a lot of times people talk about what they're doing, but their lives is not showing the evidence of what they're saying. So we have someone today, just like our own personal life, because I have going on 13 years of being clean. And I think it's the ultimate thing that I have done in my life was to embrace change. And every day I still do the exact same thing that I do when I first started my first week. I haven't changed anything. I still feed myself with coping skills, learn life skills, work my recovery program, build my spiritual foundation, everything, whatever was needed in the beginning, I still do today. So today we're going to go over this handout, and it's called Change. embracing it and making it happen. And it's provided from the recovery.org website. So you can follow along. And if you look in the description tab, the link to this particular handout we're going over, I made it available for you. So you'll be able to go along with us today. So we'll read different sections, and wherever you feel like you want to jump in, something comes to your heart that you read and you want to discuss, you're free to do it. So it says, life change, embracing it and making it happen. Life in recovery is not easy. We can all say that. It involves making fundamental changes in all levels of your life. It means adopting new habits, restructuring your priorities, and becoming mindful, making decisions in the logic, well thought out way versus being mindless and responding automatically via habit to environmental cues and inner urges. This part right here is important. It involves making fundamental changes in all levels of your life. And that's so important because when we were talking a few weeks ago, or about 2 months ago, we were talking about the 8 dimensions of wellness that dealt with different areas of our lives. So, and what we be trying to tell our participants, recoveries, clients, whatever terminology you use, is when you get the substance away from you, that's one level. There's multiple levels to this. This is not something that, you just get the substance out, pull out the red carpet and be on your way. No. Recovery involves making fundamental changes in all levels. You have to do them. Go ahead, Chris.
Why change is often resisted. Let's talk about that. Typically, we will only initiate fundamental life-altering changes when they become absolutely necessary. All right? Recovery in many ways necessitates a complete overhaul of one's way of life, which is a scary prospect. It requires leaving our comfort zone where we feel safe and know what to expect. And so oftentimes we are fearful of making change. Yeah. And a lot of people are, they're not comfortable with making change because we're so accustomed to that which we think is norm, which is abnormal, and that is living a life of substance use disorder. And so,
and when you talk about why people resist change, it says something important. It says it requires leaving our comfort zone. We have this imaginary comfort zone. When I was actively using, I always told people I stayed in like a certain radius. I stayed in an area where it wasn't far enough from getting to the dealer, but I wouldn't go too far enough where I was making the money to get the drug. So I had this particular comfort zone. Like, I'm staying in this, I'm not going out. As soon as somebody say they want to go somewhere and it's kind of outside my comfort zone, I say, I don't know if I want to go. They're like, why? That's a little bit too far for me getting to his house. So I wouldn't want to do it. So a lot of times in my own personal life, I would resist change because change involves leaving my comfort zone. Anything that made me want to get out of my comfort zone, I will put up a resistance.
And that includes people as well.
That's true.
A lot of times we're often comfortable around certain people because we're talking the same jargon, we're using the same jargon, we are wearing the same lifestyle of clothing, we behaving the same. But once you maintain your sobriety and recovery, now you have to take on some new friends.
Everything.
It
goes all the way back to up here. Change in all levels. Like
that's right.
At all levels.
All right. It says comfort zones rely on habits to be maintained. We are all essentially creatures of habit. That's so true. Breakthroughs in neurobiological research and brain imaging techniques have given us tangible proof that the brain is hardwired at a subconscious inner level toward habit making and habit maintenance. So in some ways, when we try to make change happen, we are going against our natural instincts. But fortunately, our conscious, executive thinking, reasoning, planning, brain areas have the power to override habituated subconscious programming. Wow.
It overrides it.
Yeah. All right. So it says free will and choice can save us from living our lives as robots, responding in an autopilot fashion to behavioral habits and habituated sensory cues. Below are some ways that you can use your executive brain to override subconsciously programmed unhealthy brain habits, including addictive tendencies.
Living as robot. It says responding in an autopilot fashion. That means when you experiencing something, this is when you're actively using and you going through something, you might get into something that deals with your emotions. Your autopilot is to go get the substance that you enjoy doing to deal with the situation that has caused you these emotions. So it's on autopilot. It's automatic. That's why every level of your recovery process has to be dealt with when you get the substance away, because you know why? Don't let this shock you. But whatever caused you to feel those emotions is going to come again. When now you clean, now that same situation that brought about that type of emotion is going to come. Somehow it might not be the same person, it might not be the same situation, but whatever that emotion was that had you on autopilot to go get the substance to deal with the emotions, when you clean, don't think that situation is not going to happen. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And if you don't learn new relapse prevention skills, new coping skills, new living lifestyle skills, if you don't get those things implemented in your recovery process, then it's possible that your autopilot going to say, we know what to do with this. It's going to be, it says it's called you're responding in an autopilot fashion. So that's why we're talking about changing and embracing and making things happen, because we can all testify to this particular process that getting the substance out is one level, but there's a whole lot of different levels that are out there.
So there's a lot of coping skills. Mike talked about life skills. You know, a lot of not only emotions, but anger. Let's identify a few. Abandonment. Let's deal with frustration. There's a host of life skills that we need to master. When I say we, I'm talking about myself. I want to keep the focus on myself because we're talking about recovery. Yeah. So I'm in recovery as well. So I like to think that there's a host of things that from trauma, let's deal with a little trauma. Let's talk about a little trauma. Most people deal with trauma. That's why a lot of times people utilize drugs or substance use to try to combat
the trauma that they experience, which is not to say we are discrediting the trauma or the trauma is real. We're not saying that the situation, we all experience some type of trauma, but how we deal with it has to change. When you're in the recovery process, it's learning new ways to deal with it.
If you don't change everything, you fall right back into behavior.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, absolutely. That's so true.
More dangerous sometimes than actual relapses when you get into the old behaviors and you kind of relapse before you pick the drug up.
That's absolutely that's accurate. That's it happens before you even touch the substance. The behavior associated with before you even do this, all that stuff that went on. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah. And see, that's our spotlight. That's our spotlight recovery. This is this. Come on to Capital Recovery Center and come join these meetings, man. This is our spotlight recovery. That's good. That's very good information right there. You got a superstar with us. Yeah, come on. Y'all can come join our meeting every day, Thursday, 1 p.m. You would like to be? I got it. Go ahead, Chris.
Chime
All right. Tip number one.
I take this one.
You got it, Mike?
Yeah, I got it.
All
right. Tip number one, start with DUI. I know y'all thinking about drinking. Hold on. A definite, unwavering intention. You got to have a purpose. You got to start with this. This is tips, all right? It says, in order to make change happen, you have to first set your mind to it. This means creating an intention, a mental idea in support of your chosen action. When considering the choice to begin or maintain recovery, what is needed to start with the DUI, which is in this case stands for the definite, unwavering intention.
Ooh, that's heavy.
That's good.
That's
You
heavy.
gotta have some intentions about. We're talking about change, and in order for you to embrace the change or make something happen, you have to start with the DUI. A definite, unwavering intention. I have to be intentional. When I went to get my away from for a program from the last time I went with intentions. My intentions was, I am tired of living like this. I don't know how my life is going to turn out. I just was so tired of going through the things that I went through that I made an unwavering intention that I'm not going back to what I used to do. I went to the treatment. I did my trainings. I did everything I needed. I accumulated all type of sponsors, recovery coaches. I loaded up. I got everything I needed. I loaded up. I was intentional. Everybody on my phone was going in the same direction. So everybody I had connected with was trying to help me in my process. And that's what you have to do as well. As you know, even with best intentions, we don't always find our way to our goals. If your intentions are not definite enough, if they are vague, unspecific, or based on mixed feelings rather than full commitment, they may fail to lead to the next step. Remember, we're talking about how there are different levels. So if your intentions, if you don't have a full commitment, I do a lesson that I was teaching. I was teaching about commitment or contribution. Some people are making contribution to their recovery process, but if they want to be successful, they have to be committed to it. You can't make a contribution like, I'm gonna do recovery stuff today. Tomorrow I'm gonna hang out with the people getting high. The next day I'm gonna go to recovery. That's not making a commitment. You got to be all in every day. It says to lead to success to extent must always be unwavering, meaning you ain't going back and forth. Like I just said, I'm recovery all the way, full-fledged ahead. With the idea, choice, solidly, what is that? Solidly held in mind for the long haul and not just the start of a change effort. So you got to remember that tip number one is start with the DUI, a definite, unwavering intention. That means you got to be intentional. How you doing, brother Kevin? Kevin, one of our regular brothers right there. You always join in the all recovery meeting, man. How you doing?
Yes, sir. All right, let's talk about tip number 2.
All right, let's do it.
Add sufficient motivation. Intentions get us started, right? But plans can easily get sidelined if we don't have sufficient motivation or incentive to continue moving along our intended path. Motivation is an inner drive that encourages us to move towards a goal. And sometimes some people need an extra push or boost. But when you have that
innate ability, that's a good word right there,
slick,
man.
Like,
Any college educators over here.
But if you got that self-motivation, drive with you,
that pushes you.
Hey, listen, I encourage anyone who has that drive to hook up with some other people who have the same drive, encourage somebody who may not have that drive to, pick themselves up, get started. Because like the article says, intentions are good. Yeah. But what you do with those intentions is something else.
Inner drive. When you had an inner drive to push you, I remember I was talking to someone when I started my recovery process, and I said, "Yeah, I got all these counselors and everything." They said they push you. I said, "Man, I'm pushing myself. I'm pushing myself to them." Like I was so tired of it. Like after a while, I thought that everybody will get to that place where they say, I'm gonna outgrow it, or I just got tired of it. And I realized that's not true because some of my friends are still out there. So I said, oh man, this got to be something that has to be in each individual. I thought everybody had it, but that's not actually true. It has to be activated. So yeah, I got that.
All right, it says it involves both inner inspiration and outer drive and ambition. I like that. This is where creating conscious, well thought out, determined choices come into play. Let me read that again.
Good.
This is where creating conscious, well thought out, determined choices come into play. It is through the use of our brains, executive thinking, reasoning, planning capacities that we trump the instinctive program habits that so often derail recovery efforts.
Significant motivation.
Wow.
You gotta add it. If you don't have it, you gotta find it. Some of the things we have in our motivations. I'll give you a prime example. We've been reaching out and calling people, telling them about, because we just put our second week open. It seemed like only 2, right?
Going 3.
This is our 3rd week.
Yeah, that's
Something like that.
okay.
But now we have added motivation. She gave us added motivation.
Yeah.
I got added motivation. I'm ready to go call people now. Hey, where you at, man? Come on in. But you see how we got.
That's how it happened. You called me yesterday.
Yeah. and you see how she made it happen. The topic is change, embracing it and making it happen.
Committed to a word.
She was committed to her word, and that's her life. Remember, we started off, we talked about how it's different levels. So when you have one level, you get the substance out. And a lot of times people just get the substance out from detox and they shoot right back to the streets and haven't changed anything else in different levels. And that strategy don't work. So you got to add some type of significant motivation. It's got a significant. Kevin said, oh, you just got out the hospital. Oh man, I pray that you heal up, sir. Yeah, he had surgery. We pray you heal up, man.
Yeah.
And he's gonna say, "Where's Karen?"
Good to have you back, Karen.
She's up front, Karen. I was like, "What's that say?" He said, "Man, where's Sister Karen?" Hey, we got our spotlight recovery. What month you did spotlight recovery? November, our spotlight recovery from November
last year.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's still going strong.
Hey, man.
Your motivation for recovery on wheels saved my
life. Amen. And I'm glad God put me in the area to be able to be there for you. Because I remember, when you start in the process, you can't see far down the road. You like, man, I'm just starting. But that's okay. We're here now, and this is awesome. I really enjoy you. I appreciate it. Trust me. So what's tip number 3, right?
Number 3.
All right, let's go. I got it. 3 is to know where you stand. We were just talking about the stages of change. Knowing the stages of change that relates to recovery process and where you are in that process can help you stay the course. A study by the Recovery Research Procrasta and Wayne, published in American Journal, introduced the 6 stages model of change that is still widely used today.
Whoa.
So you got to find out.
6 stages. We were just talking about
the 5
stages.
But they don't never talk about the 6 is my favorite.
Let's get there, man.
The 6 is my favorite. A lot of people don't like talking about the 6. A lot of people leave 6 out of the stages of change because it talks about me terminating. It's terminating. So let's see. The pre-contemplation stage. This is the initial stage of decision-making related to change. At this stage, you really haven't given serious consideration to making a significant change in your life, such as entering recovery. You may not yet be fully aware of how serious your substance use is, or you may be rationalizing your substance use. So when you're in the pre-contemplation stage, you sitting there like, well, it's not really that bad. Or, I'm going to tell you what my phrase was when I was in pre-contemplation. It's my money. That was my phrase all the time. I'm spending my money on the drugs, right? So I was in pre-contemplation because I was justifying, like, it's not really that bad because I'm working and I'm spending my own money. I'm not really spending your money.
I got it under control.
I got it. Yeah, it's not that bad.
You don't know what you're talking about.
It
Only snorting, not shooting up.
Oh, that's good. That's a favorite. I'm only sniffing it. I'm not shooting. I'm not using the needle.
I'm only smoking. I ain't smoking.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one. I'm kind of mad you came up with that one and I didn't. But that was good. That's true. That's exactly how when you in pre-contemplation, you look for all those type of, which really is nonsense. Yeah. But we have to find out where we stand. So if you're in the pre-contemplation stage, we are hoping and praying that you eventually come to the next stage, which is, go ahead, Craig.
Contemplation. Once you have become at least willing to consider making a change, you are in the contemplation stage. You haven't yet made a commitment, but at least you are open to the idea. And you may seek out more knowledge to help you make your decision. So you're not really, basically your intentions are good.
Yeah.
You haven't had that motivation to move forward. And we can talk about as sufficient motivation.
It says, remember I talked about one person is making a contribution and the other one's a commitment. So in the contemplation stage, you haven't yet made a commitment. Mm-hmm. You making contributions. You might be doing a little bit of something, but at the same time, you're not fully committed to your recovery process. So that's the contemplation stage.
Like all to get a better detox, but not quite go yet.
Yeah, you made the call. Yeah, but I'm not gonna go. Yeah, do the screening. Yeah, I do the screening. Yeah, that was enough to give you. Yeah, I'm contemplating right now. That's enough to give you. I used to do stuff like that to get the people who was arguing about going away off my back.
Yes.
I said, I gotta get these jokers off my back. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me call Maryville, do this screening. Hey, they say, what you doing? Hold on, I'm doing screening right now. Like I ain't have no intentions of going. I just wanted to get them off my back. So that's when you're in the contemplation stage.
That little window of opportunity. Yeah, you want to get them before they change their mind.
Yeah. That's awesome. He gave me a good idea too, just sitting here about all the spotlight recoveries. I'm going to reach out to all of them and ask them to come.
Come on, join.
Yeah.
Hope you share this clip with them.
Yeah, I'm gonna
start the trend here.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you do. She got me thinking.
That's right.
The next one is determination phase. If you are in this stage, you have committed to making a change. You are ready to put a realistic plan of action together to make the needed change happen, like coming to the Recoveries on Wheels, and then going to the treatment place, and then coming home and then being encouragement to other people and working your recovery program. If you have made it to this stage, you have committed to making a change. Remember, we talking about change, embracing it and making it happen. So you can embrace it, but you got to also make it happen. When you're making it happen, that means you're following through on each level. Each level you go to. And do you know what's beautiful about it is, I tell people all the time, it doesn't mean you're not going to have bumps in the road. Because a lot of times people think, I know what, I'm going to go to recovery, I'm going to come home, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to get this. It's not necessarily saying everything is going to go smoothly, but you got to stay on the process and allow it to work out.
Mm-hmm. And the next one is action.
All right.
This is a stage where you finalize your plan and put it into action. All right, you're getting in gear now.
Yeah.
This may involve the use of a number of different strategies: finding a support group, accessing personal counseling, going to a rehab, or using other options.
Action.
You're taking action.
Yeah.
Taking accountability.
Moving to an Oxford house.
Moving to an Oxford house.
Beds is open.
Yeah, this is you're in the action stage. When you start doing stuff like that, you done went all the way from recovery on wheels, you went there, went this place, went to this place. Now you're at the Oxford. So that's called taking action. Yeah, making it happen.
Yeah.
Next one is maintenance. During this period, which may last many years, you are committed to sticking with your plan and making the change last. However, in this case of recovery, relapse is often a part of the stage. The threat that you will return to old self-defeating patterns is a realistic concern that must be constantly addressed. That's why I said whatever I did in my first week is the same thing I do in year 13. I'm constantly making sure that I follow my strategy or my bracelet that says anywhere but backwards. So I'm constantly doing what I need to address. I'm constantly addressing any emotional issues, any insecurity, any self-esteem, whatever it is. I don't care. Everybody's different. They always have something come up. But in the maintenance stage, you are making sure that you are constantly addressing that issue with your sponsor, your counselor, your recovery coach, your spiritual advisor, your higher power, whatever. Make sure you are constantly addressing it.
And it also talks about relapse is often part of the stage. And like Mike said, if you're not constantly addressing it, chances are you may stumble.
Yeah.
But that don't mean that because if you stumble that you can't get back up and get back on track. It's just that, you know, if we're not staying focused, we're not seeking some sponsors, some groups, some Oxford houses,
all recovery meeting like this.
Why not?
Why not? And remember, because from me, multiple relapse in my recovery path before I got to the successfully have 13 years, my spiritual advisor or my mentor always says, if you relapse, Michael, you have to change something about your relapse prevention plan. I said, why? He says, evidently it didn't work. So I said, oh, yeah, that do make sense. He said, because if you relapse, whatever plan you had, you might don't have to change all of it. You might have to just change some of it. So a lot of times, if you are find yourself in that place, don't think it's over. You might have to modify some things. One of the things that I used to always do in my relapse prevention plan, for some reason, I will always want to go around the people that I used to hang with to show them how clean I was, to let them see me. I wanted them to see me. And not sure enough, before I got off that block, I was out there getting high with them. So one of my strategies was take that out your plan. Don't go try to hang with them and show them how good. Let them watch you on social media or something. Don't do that. So you got to make sure you do that.
The new patterns that work,
Yeah.
keep doing them. Like this, coming and sharing with other people, giving back what was so freely given to you, going to meetings, doing all this. If I stop doing those, I'm in trouble.
That's right. So you right where it says constantly addressing it.
Yeah. For 2 years clean, I still do 4 or 5 meetings a week.
That's right. Whatever you got to
how I'm clean 2 years.
All right. And that's why everybody is different. You have to. We talk about the multiple pathways. You have to lock in and find out, what do I need to do to be successful for a consistent period of time? And whatever you need to do to be successful for a long period of time, that's what you need to consistently keep doing.
So the 6th stage is termination.
Termination.
This is the stage you are hoping to achieve. It marks the time when you feel secure in your ability to maintain the course, and you feel that if relapse should occur, you will be able to get yourself back on track. You recognize that the knowledge and experience you have gained can see you through. So that's basically saying,
get back up,
take the training wheels off. If you fall, get back on your bike. That is so profound, because a lot of times people, we are so hard on ourselves as people in recovery, and that even if we do take a fall, we figure, I can never get it right. No, that's not true.
That's not true. Yeah, you get back up, and if you can watch us, if you're watching us now and you messed up, we're here to tell you that we are here. You can always contact us at 856-391-7449 or 1-800-236-2448. And we are here. You can reach out to us all day long. If you find yourself in a situation where you have suffered the relapse, we can help you get back into treatment, connect you to sober living after treatment, and help you build your foundation back. That's why we are here at Capital Recovery Center. And just reach out to us if you need us for any of those things. And what else we got, Mr. Dingle? We got one more?
We got the last call.
Let's do the last one.
Let's talk about it. No matter where you currently are in the stages of change, keep in mind the following as you navigate your way through your change process. I'm gonna read one, Mike.
I got it.
And you, all right, it says, stay motivated. That's one. Remember that. Stay motivated. Your motivation is probably going to be strongest when you first decide to make a change. That is when the need for change is fresh in your mind and the pain or problems that are part of your motivation are most noticeable and pressing. But as time goes on and memories of the pain and problems fade, so can your motivation and determination to stay the course. You can refresh your motivation by periodically reviewing your initial reason for making this fundamental change in your life.
Yeah.
Revisit why you made this decision. Why it's so important to stay the course, right? You should review the losses that were associated with the old behavior.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Possibly your life. You should review the losses that were associated with your behavior, possibly impaired relationship, loss of job, loss of self-respect, etc. Also review what you have gained by making the decision to change. Weighing the pros and the cons should renew your motivation.
Yeah, that's good. Make sure one of the things that you work your plan, stick with it, stay motivated. Whatever things that but often I try to remember all the pain and stuff that a lot of times people don't want to associate or remember the consequence of the use that we had. But I don't remember it to pull me back. I use it so I don't go back. Like, man, that was bad. Like, so when you remember that, it keeps me motivated. And, the more I don't let it beat me down, so to speak. But I do remember how painful it was, not just for me, for kids, loved ones, family, because a lot of people don't want to admit this, but everybody attached to us suffers when we go through what we go through. So stay motivated. And remember to be mindful versus mindless. Employ your executive brain function. Each time you consciously override automatic habitual responses, you strengthen your capacity to use this important brain area to help you make wise choices in the future. So don't be mindful. Remember to be mindful versus mindless. So like we were just talking about the consequences of stuff. I'm mindful of that. What else? Go, Craig.
Plan to survive setbacks. In recovery, setbacks are unfortunately often part of the process. Instead of seeing a slip or relapse as a failure, use it as a learning experience. Yeah. Plan ahead for what you will do should this happen. Remind yourself of the tools and resources you have gained. Use these to help you re-energize your intentions and motivation, and then go back to working your plan.
Nice.
So if you ever went through any type of program, treatment facility, all the information that you have gained that helped you along the way the first time, revisit it. Yeah.
Remind yourself of the tools and resources you have. You have everything you need. We was talking about that innate ability to help be self-motivated. So when you fall in a setback or you had a particular setback, just pause, breathe. You have the tools. Now start utilizing and applying those tools. The same ones that got you started an initial process. If you had a setback, they're still good enough for you to get back up and try to revive what you have been through.
Try not to think about the loss either.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they relapse, they think they lost all their clean time. They lost all their stuff. All you're doing is resetting the clock.
Reset the clock.
Days, but you didn't lose the 6 months or the year you had. You still have that.
Yeah.
You still have that.
You just reset the clock.
Resetting.
Nice. That's a good word. Hashtag reset the clock. Reset the clock. That's my tip. I give you credit for it the first time I used it, but after that, it's mine. I came up with it.
Reset the clock.
That's a good one. Think long term. Remember, fundamentally, life-altering change is intended to be permanent change. As you work your change plan, you will gradually move from prioritizing immediately short-term pleasure in favor of choosing long-term life improvement. And that's what we are after, long-term life improvement. And that's something that we want you to always remember when we're talking about change or considering change. That's what we want you to embrace. So why change is often resisted is because it comes with a lot of different changes on every different level.
Yeah, so as a reminder, those who may join late, on Monday, April the 4th, brand new month coming up.
Brand new month.
Be at the Violent Police Department. If anybody that you know in the community that needs some help, our road bus will be there from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And on Wednesday, our road bus will be at 39 East Broad Street at the Wendy's spot in Bristol, New Jersey at the same time from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Nice. And don't forget, Friday, Spotlight Recovery. We have a guest, and she's one of our Spotlight Recoveries. Let's give it up for our Spotlight Recovery. Capital Recovery Center. That's awesome that you can attend our meetings every Thursday at 1 p.m. Although she's on camera, she's agreed to be on here with us. You can be in this group, but you don't have to be on camera. It's up to you. It's your choice. We don't force it on you. So we just want to thank all our Spotlight Recovery participants. And if y'all would like to come join our meeting, Coffee and Conversation at 10 a.m. Tuesday, all recovery meeting at 1 p.m. Again, we want to thank our Recovery Spotlight for joining us today for this group. So we really enjoyed you. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
We see you guys Tuesday.
All right.
Good.